Imagine two people. They earn the same salary, live in the same city, and start with the same amount of money. 30 years later, one is a millionaire, the other is still living paycheck to paycheck. The difference wasn't luck, it wasn't intelligence, and it definitely wasn't a higher income. It all came down to one financial decision almost everyone gets wrong: saving money. From the day we're born, we're taught the same rule: work hard, spend less, and save every dollar you can. It sounds like the perfect plan: safe, responsible, even smart. But if that advice truly created wealth, why aren't the people with the biggest savings accounts the richest in the world? The answer is simpler and far more surprising than you think. Here's the mistake most people make. They believe saving money and building wealth are the same thing. They're not. Saving protects your money. Wealth is created when your money starts working harder than you do. The wealthy learned this long ago. Instead of asking, "How much money do I have?" they ask, "How much money is working for me?" Imagine your money as an employee. Every dollar has a job. It can sit in a bank account doing almost nothing, or it can go out into the world and earn more dollars. Most people spend their lives collecting employees, then force them to do nothing. The wealthy do the opposite. They send every possible dollar to work, because idle money slowly becomes weaker over time. Now, you might be thinking, if saving isn't enough, what's the alternative? The answer isn't spending more, it's owning more. Every wealthy person understands one simple rule: don't just earn money, own the things that produce it. Businesses, investments, real estate. Assets generate income. Cash only waits. And while it's waiting, something invisible is quietly working against it. That invisible force is inflation. It never knocks on your door. It never sends a warning. Yet every year, it quietly makes your money less valuable. The balance in your account may stay the same, but what it can actually buy keeps shrinking. You're not losing dollars. You're losing purchasing power. And most people don't notice until years have already passed. Picture this. In the year 2000, you hide $10,000 in a box and promise not to touch it for 25 years. When you finally open it, every bill is still there. Nothing is missing. But the life that money could buy has changed completely. Nobody stole your cash. Time did. And that's exactly why the wealthy refuse to let money sit still for too long. This is where the game changes. The rich don't see money as something to store. They see it as a tool to buy assets. An asset is anything that can grow in value or generate income over time. While most people spend years saving cash, the wealthy spend years building ownership. And ownership is what quietly transforms income into lasting wealth. Imagine buying a small piece of a great company instead of letting that same money sleep in your bank account. Every product the company sells, every customer it gains, and every dollar it earns can increase the value of what you own. Suddenly, your money isn't just sitting there. It has a purpose. It begins working, growing, and creating opportunities that saving alone never could. But here's the truth most people never hear. Wealth isn't built by finding the perfect investment. It's built by giving your money enough time to grow. The market will rise. It will fall. Headlines will create fear. But time has rewarded patient investors far more often than those who waited for the perfect moment. In investing, consistency almost always beats perfection. Think of investing like planting a tree. On the first day, it looks small and unimpressive. After a year, the change is barely noticeable. Many people give up because they expect instant results. But those who stay patient witness something extraordinary. As the years pass, growth begins to accelerate. What once seemed insignificant slowly becomes impossible to ignore. This is the power of compounding. Your money earns returns. Then, those returns begin earning returns of their own. At first, the progress feels painfully slow. Then, almost without warning, growth starts accelerating. It's not magic, it's mathematics. The earlier you begin, the more time compounding has to work. And in the world of investing, time is the only asset you can never buy back. Yet most people never experience this growth. Not because they lack money, but because they stop too soon. They panic during market crashes, chase quick profits, or wait endlessly for the perfect time to invest. Ironically, the greatest threat to building wealth isn't a falling market. It's letting fear keep your money frozen while time keeps moving forward. The wealthiest investors don't try to predict tomorrow. They know nobody can. Instead, they focus on one thing they can control: staying invested. While others react to fear, they follow a plan. Because real wealth isn't built by making one brilliant decision. It's built by making the right decision over and over again, even when it feels boring. Now imagine two friends. They earn the same income and save the same amount every month. The first keeps every dollar in a savings account. The second invests that money into productive assets. 10 years later, the difference is small. 20 years later, it's significant. 30 years later, their financial lives are almost unrecognizable. The gap wasn't created by income. It was created by decisions. Eventually, the first friend realizes a painful truth. His money was always safe, but it was never truly growing. The second friend understood something different. Money should never spend its entire life sitting still. Every dollar should have a purpose. Every investment should become another worker, quietly building wealth in the background while life moves forward. Financial freedom doesn't begin when you earn your first million. It begins the moment your money starts earning more money than your effort alone can. That's why the wealthy don't chase bigger paychecks forever. They focus on building assets that continue producing value year after year. Their greatest goal isn't to work harder. It's to make work optional. So, should you stop saving? Absolutely not. Saving gives you stability. It protects you from emergencies and unexpected setbacks. But saving should be your foundation, not your final destination. The moment your safety net is in place, every extra dollar should have one mission: to buy an asset that has the potential to grow, generate income, or create even more opportunities in the future. Take a moment and ask yourself one question. If every dollar you own were an employee, how many of them are actually working? How many are creating value while you sleep? And how many are simply waiting in a bank account, losing a little of their power every single year? The answer to that question may reveal more about your future than the size of your paycheck ever will. The truth is, money was never meant to be collected. It was meant to move. Every dollar that sits idle slowly loses its potential. Every dollar invested has the chance to create more value. That's the difference between people who spend their lives working for money and those who eventually reach the point where their money begins working for them. The greatest mistake isn't spending too much. It isn't earning too little. It's believing that time will wait. Every year you delay investing is another year your money misses the chance to grow. The wealthy understand this better than anyone else. They know that waiting has a price, and that price is measured not in dollars, but in opportunities that can never be recovered. Here's what separates investors from savers. Savers ask, how can I protect my money? Investors ask, how can I make my money grow? Both questions matter, but only one creates long-term wealth. Protection keeps you where you are. Growth moves you forward. And over decades, that difference becomes the gap between financial survival and financial freedom. The goal was never to become the richest person in the room. The goal was to build a life where money is no longer your biggest concern. A life where unexpected bills don't create panic, where opportunities don't depend on your next paycheck, and where your future isn't controlled by the number of hours you can work. That's what real wealth is truly about. Look at the wealthiest people in history. They didn't become rich because they saved every dollar they earned. They became rich because they owned things that continued creating value. Businesses, stocks, real estate, ideas. While others traded time for money, they built assets that kept working long after the work itself was done. That's the difference ownership makes. Building wealth isn't about making one perfect decision. It's about making small, smart decisions again and again. Investing consistently, ignoring the noise, and giving your assets time to grow may seem ordinary, but over the years, those ordinary decisions create extraordinary results. That's how wealth is built, not in days, but in decades. One day, you'll stop working. The real question is whether your money will stop working too. If your income depends only on your time, your financial future will always have limits. But if your assets continue producing value, they can support you long after your career ends. That's the difference between earning a living and building lasting wealth. The most powerful investment you'll ever make isn't just in the market. It's in the way you think about money. The moment you stop seeing every dollar as something to spend or save and start seeing it as a tool to create more value, everything changes. Wealth doesn't begin in your bank account. It begins with a different mindset. Money is a terrible master, but an incredible servant. Leave it sitting still, and it slowly loses its strength. Give it a purpose, and it can build opportunities you could never create alone. That's why the wealthy don't ask, "How much did I save this year?" They ask, "How many new assets did I add to my future?" The choice has always been yours. You can spend your life watching your savings grow while their value slowly fades. Or you can put your money to work, giving every dollar the chance to build a stronger future. The difference isn't luck, talent, or timing. It's understanding that money is most powerful when it's creating more of itself. So, the next time someone tells you that saving money is the secret to becoming rich, remember this. Saving is where financial security begins, but it's not where wealth is built. Wealth is built through ownership, patience, and the courage to let your money work instead of leaving it behind. Because in the end, the people who achieve financial freedom aren't the ones who save the most. They're the ones who gave every dollar a purpose. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Wealth Fail, where we uncover the financial truths that school never taught you. Because the greatest investment you'll ever make is in the knowledge that changes the way you see money forever.